Hey everybody, it's Lance with the Ride with Lance, and today we have the all-new Puckipuppy Rottweiler dual suspension Etrike with reverse. Now, like I said before, I'm usually not a spec guy. I go over a few certain things that I think are important, but on this bike, I think there's a lot more things, so I'm going to do more of a quick spec update for you on this, and then I'm going to take it out for the initial rider experience. Not the overall review. I don't have any miles on this yet. All I've done is sit on it, set up the controls and the seat and everything to the way I like it. But I'm going to take it out for the first time today. You guys will come along. So you're going to hear some of my honest thoughts about my initial impressions on this. A review video will come later. But let's get to some of the important specs of this bike. Okay, right off the bat, it has dual rear shocks in the back. And up front, it has 80mm forks. And in the middle here, we have a 48-volt, 15-amp-hour battery. Now this is a torque sensor bike that is a 7-speed. What else we got going on here? We have front and rear, right there, hydraulic disc brakes. But we have disc brakes on the back on each wheel. So we have a total of 3 hydraulic disc brakes to stop this thing. And I think they need it because this bike's overall weight is 120 pounds. It can hold, I believe it's, let me check my specs here, but I believe it can hold 500 pounds. Yep, it's got a 500-pound load capacity. Now up front here, we have dual headlights. I haven't tried it at night yet. Like I said, I haven't ridden it yet, but maybe later on tonight when it gets dark, I'll try it and see how dual headlights work out. What else we got going on here? Okay. We have this nice comfort seat with an adjustable backrest. Some of the trikes don't come with an adjustable backrest, and I don't mean adjustable this way. It does adjust this way, but I also mean it just back and forth this way. But you have to go underneath the seat to loosen it up to get those to slide back. Okay, now this is a 750-watt motor. And up here on the control panels, you'll see right here. This is where you have drive and reverse. So when you want to go backwards on this thing, you just have to flip the switch. Make sure it is in a PAS level and use your throttle. We're going to test that out for the first time when we get out on this ride. We'll make sure it's in drive. You're going to want to make sure it's in drive every time you leave. Otherwise, you might be surprised if you accidentally left it in reverse and you're expecting to go forward and you don't. Okay, over here we have the control panel where we do have blinkers, directionals, power button in the middle, PAS levels up and top. Bottom one has a walk mode. Now, one of the things you got to be careful with if you're using the walk mode on these bikes, on these trikes, is you have a tendency of being closer to the trike, like I am now. You see where my leg is? That can get in the way. That takes off and that back wheel might hit you. And then the pedal might hit you too. So I'd be very careful using the walk mode. Now the top button also, if you long press it, the headlights come on. Now back in the back here, let me go ahead and turn it on, so maybe you can see it on the video. Are they on? Nope. Let's turn the lights on. See, I'm going to hold. You'll probably see the front light up there. Yep. Okay, so back here, we do have dual brake lights with blinkers on each one. So let me turn the blinker on. We'll turn the left blinker on. And if you notice, you see both of them going to the left. Turn right, it's going to be on this side here. So that's pretty cool. That gives you a lot of light. If someone's coming up behind you, better than one light. You got 2 going on there. Let's go ahead and turn those off. Now, this does come with plastic fenders. I'm glad they went with plastic fenders on trikes. I mean, the metal fenders look great. but the plastic or the metal fenders, like on my Velotric here, when it picks up pebbles, it rattles around there, makes all kinds of noise. So I'm glad they kind of went with plastic. But let's take a look at the control panel. This is all new, and this is the biggest display I've ever seen. That is 4.7 inches. Looks like I still got the blinker on. Okay, yeah, that's right. See, I turn a blinker on, you get a blinker here. Turn the right one on, and it's over here. But look at that display. Isn't that thing look nice? What do we got on here? We got battery level, we've got temperature, PAS level, motor power reference with a wattage sign, and of course your odometer and your speed. Now that's an LED, HD LED display. That thing looks cool. Now I'm going to have to see when I have polarized sunglasses on if I can see that, but during the ride I'll let you know. All right, in the back here we have this huge cargo rack, cargo box, whatever you want to call it, but it comes with this liner too. You can take the liner off and you can just have it as a regular open rack, but I would keep the liner on because it helps keep the little things you might put in there from falling through. But I didn't get a front rack, but there is a mounting area here for a front rack. I imagine if you get a front rack that's out here, that this light comes off here and gets connected to the front of that rack. But I think right now that this is plenty of storage space for this trike. You could get a few grocery bags in there, and it does come with also this nice big strap to strap things down in case you're coming up above the top or you're going to be riding some bumpy roads and things are going to be bouncing out. Now also, this is a folding trike. I'm not going to fold it up here, but you can see where it folds right there, and of course the handlebars do also fold down. Now I want to talk about these handlebars. Have you ever seen anything like that before? We're going to see how this does. Now my arms seem to be in a pretty good position when I'm sitting on it there, but I guess you also have the option of holding it this way if you want to, or moving forward and riding it this way. But that's where the throttle is. This is where your controls are, and of course your brakes are up here. Speaking of brakes, it does have a parking brake. It only has one, and it works like that, and then you pull that forward and you're locked. And to release it, you just pull that in. Now what else? It comes with a built-in accessory bar right here. So if you want to add an extra headlight, if you want a phone mount, that's a good place for it. The only issue I see for me is that's really high. I want to show you something. I want to show you if how do I do this? Okay, I'm going to try and show you. This is me. This is how tall this handlebar is. I'm standing up on the ground. I'm not even sitting on the bike yet. And that is tall. That is tall. And I have the bars set at its lowest position because you can move the bars up higher if you want. Whew, I'm 6 feet tall. I don't know if I need to go any higher than that. I will have to raise the seat up. The seat is still down, but yeah, those are some of the important details about this bike, about this trike, that I think you should know. The other one is this trike is big. It is long. Look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna bring out one of my other bikes and put it right next to it so you can see that this is not a small trike. Not a small trike at all. Hold on a second. All right, so look at that. Look at that. The bike I have behind the trike, behind the Puckipuppy, is the Mach Wheel Onyx. That is the tallest bike I have in my garage right now. And look at that. That thing is almost as long as the Mach Wheel. Now behind it, for reference, I have the Velotric Nomad 2X. And then of course behind that I have the King Bull Light Rider, which is a 20-inch wheel bike. But that is a very long, large trike. Does come with the 4-inch fat tires on 20-inch wheels. So you're getting a pretty heavy duty. I have a feeling this bike is going to do good on the rough road too, but we'll see how a taller, larger trike actually performs on the street where most people are going to be riding this. Let's go ahead and take it out on the rider experience. All right, so here we go. What is it like? What are my first impressions? Well, I feel very tall on this trike. I had to move the seat up to get some decent leg extension for when I want to pedal. But I think later on when I just want to cruise on throttle, I'll just drop the seat down all the way down, give me a lower center of gravity, because can you see me sway back and forth? Can you see that? Leaning? That's something you have to be aware of when you buy this, because I believe it's because of the suspension in the back. Kind of gives it a turn. See that? So, that will be something you have to get used to. Is that lean? But let's see how it is down a trail that is kind of flat, but every once in a while it will lean to each side, and we'll see if that lean is more prevalent because the shock is compressing on one side because of the grade of the path. See, if I even just turn a little, this thing really flexes. I don't know if you can see that in the video. See, on this part of the path, it kind of tilts this way. So it's more prevalent when I make a right turn than I do on a left turn. But that's something you can get used to pretty quick, fairly quickly. It's something you have to get used to if you get a trike anyways. That you're not going to be able to go into sharper turns full speed. But I'm going to get over here, and then let's try the PAS levels. We'll try it in throttle only and see if each PAS level dictates its speed, or if you're getting all the power on throttle only in any PAS level. And then we'll try the PAS level separately. I know I said this wasn't going to be a review, but it's probably something people are interested in. And this is the first rider experience. So I'm going to get down to the bottom of this little hill right here. I'll stop. I'll put it in PAS 1 and see how fast the throttle will take me. Now this has a top speed of about 15-16 miles an hour, and we'll see if it gets there. Okay, we're at 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15.5. Yep, and it's cutting out. Okay, so now I'm not going to go through every PS level. I'm just going to go to PAS 5 because that kind of proves it right there that when you use the throttle in any PS level, it's going to give you all it's got if you go full throttle. And that's what it's going to do right here. Yep. Same speed. Okay. So next we'll try all the PS levels pedaling, and we'll also test out the torque sensor and see how that works. Now another thing that I just found out is it's got automatic cruise control. See, my hand's not on it. I'm staying at 15.2 miles an hour. So it does have automatic cruise control, and it will, I assume it's going to cut out as soon as I hit those brakes. And it does. This is a little hill climb test right here, coming out from underneath the bridge. Yeah, it does 10 miles an hour. It's got good torque for hill climbing. Something you're going to want in a trike. Okay, we're back here on level ground for a little while. Let's test out the torque sensor and the PAS levels. We're going to start pedaling. I have it in gear 6, so maybe I should have started lower. Let me do that. Let me get it down to first gear. There we go. Now I'll start. And I'm just going to pedal at a consistent pace, and we'll see if this tops out at a certain speed where I feel the motor cut off. Yeah, 7 miles an hour. If I put it, feels like 7 miles. Now I'm going to stay consistent with this pace, and I'm going to change the PAS level. Yep, just a little. 8. Let's go to PAS 3. A little more, but I have to shift now. I'm pretty much ghost pedaling there. Now I'm really leaning to the right, but I can see the path leans to the right. Okay, 10 miles an hour in 3. Let's go to 4. Yep, we have to shift up again. So, looks like it's going to top at 12. Let's go to PAS 5. I'm just going to take it to 7th gear and pedal at a consistent level. 15.2. Do I feel any more power if I push harder? No, I don't. So that 15.2, 16.1 is the max you're going to get, either in throttle or pedaling. Which again, I don't think people really want a trike to go much faster than that just for the safety concerns. Okay, right over here, we're going to test this full suspension. We're going to see how it does. Come up here, turn around, run through this rough gravel, and if I find something rougher, I'll try it. Well, let's see how that rear suspension does. Let's get turned around here. Okay, I'm just going to throttle this. Right across the lips. Branch. Okay, it's up here in the rougher stuff. It seems to be doing a good job. I'm not feeling much from the back end. I needed some bigger, bumpier stuff though, like going over things like this. Let's turn around. Let's find some rougher stuff that might test this a little better. Yeah, going up that little lip right there, you felt it a little, but it was one wheel at a time. But not like you would have if you had a normal hardtail trike. Now the torque sensor, it seems to be doing a good job. You know what? I think there's some rougher stuff right on the other side of this. Now the torque sensor seems to be doing a good job. I don't feel any weird pulsations like some of these torque sensors you get where you're pedaling and it just feels like it's going when you pedal. This one feels pretty smooth and pretty consistent. Let's see, where's something that's kind of level and bumpy? I think right over there by those trees. I can get what I'm looking for. Now, I'm not expecting this to be an off-road quality bike, but if you live in a place where you ride on dirt roads, I'm sure this is something you'd be pretty interested in. Let's try this part right here. I'm going to be leaning to the right, so not too bad. Hey, this stuff is a bit bumpier. Ooh, this is a big leap. Yeah, no, it's, I have to say, the back end, it seems like it's doing a good job. But I'm really getting off camber here, so let me get back on the path. Okay. Yeah, the back end does a good job. You won't need a suspension C-post. But I am going to come up here now, and I am going to lower the seat because I am just going to do some cruising without the pedaling. Because that's kind of really how I ride trikes. Let me lock that. Front brake is in place. Let me drop this seat down all the way. Get into cruising mode. And we'll see if this also helps on that leaning feel. Here we go. It does. The lean feels a little better. Yep. Let's get back over here to the bike path. We'll go over the bridge and on the other side of the lake. Hope you guys can see more than just this right here. Because I know I'm sitting lower for the camera view. Hi. Now, how's the comfort level on this bike? The seat feels good. The backrest feels good. I have it adjusted all the way back just because I'm a bigger guy. In this lower position here, where I have the seat as far down as it can go, and I have the handlebars as far down as they can go, I'm actually in a real comfortable riding position. All right, we're gonna go ahead and test the reverse gear. I'm gonna come up here and stop. Flip of the switch right here, if you can see it, to R. Let's see what happens. Hey, there we go. Okay, forward. Now, one thing I want to show you is when you put it in reverse, the pedals go backwards. So you're gonna have to go with the pedals. Either that, or, let's get back over here again. You're gonna have to just take your feet off the pedals. Like this. Just go backwards. But all in all, that is something nifty to have. Let's keep going. We're pointing the bike back towards home. So like I said, this was just more of a familiarization ride, if I can say it right, to just learn some of the characteristics of the bike. I will be doing a full review of this bike, which I will give you more of my thoughts, good thoughts, bad thoughts. Well, hopefully there's no bad thoughts, but maybe some concerns, or if it is just an outright excellent bike. But anyways, you have a great day, great ride, great week, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.